What's up, guys? This is Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be breaking down the top 5 routes from NFL Week 5. So I hope this video helps you guys out, and I hope it can give you some value. But also, fellas, if you're a wide receiver and you would like to learn over 200-plus wide receiver route running, press release, and catching drills that you can do on an 8-week day-to-day schedule, check out that very first link in the description below for our 8-week wide receiver on-field workout plan. It's over 200-plus drills, like we said, 8 weeks of workouts with sets, reps, and a video example of each specific day. So check out that very first link below if you're interested, fellas. Let's get started. So this first route here is from Jamar Chase, and he's going to be running this back shoulder fade route off of this Hezzy Go. So this is the route coming in at number 5. So he comes off the ball, gives a little hesitation move, and then accelerates to the outside, creating space for Joe Burrow to hit him on this back shoulder throw. So why does he go with this release? So this release is to kind of change up tempo and change up speed on this DB. So when we have a DB who's inside shade, right, that's where he's lined up. You see how we know he's inside shade because the middle of his feet are even with the front foot of Jamar Chase. So that's an inside shade DB. His sole responsibility is to take away the inside. So he doesn't want us to run a slant, a quick in, a drag. He wants to prevent all that and force us to the sideline. So a great way to hold this DB to the inside is using something we call a Hezzy skip. So what Chase does is he uses this kind of back step, like obviously this clip cuts off, but he takes his back foot and kicks behind him to load up his hips so he can skip to the outside and gain some ground. Now, a lot of DBs are taught that anytime you see a wide receiver hesitate and skip to the outside, stay patient to the inside. Because what a lot of wide receivers like to do is they'll skip to the outside, use a crossover, try to get that DB to overcommit to the fade, and run a slant. So by you hesitating to the outside and maybe using that other release prior to this, that can get that DB to sit. But also, that can get you some separation on the fade. You could build onto this release or build off of it. So we hesitate, he slides to the outside, and then he accelerates back up vertical. Now, when we accelerate back up vertical, we obviously got some separation with him. Now, if you're that faster wide receiver type, usually on this, because maybe we got his feet to stop, we can get a little skinnier and try to restack. Sometimes this DB might take a good angle, so we have to be ready for that back shoulder throw where we can adjust. That's a great job by Chase making a play on the ball and using that patient slide release to set up this route. Let's play this thing again one more time. Coming in at number 5, we got this Jamar Chase Hezzy slide and go fade, okay? Great job adjusting to the back shoulder and a great ball. So coming in at number 4, what we got is we got this inside release fade route here from Mike Williams. Now, this is more so like a better catch, I would say, than a great route, but I want to talk about the reason why he took an inside release here. So we have a DB and we come off. This DB is an outside shade press. So oftentimes wide receiver coaches say that a fade route is always an outside release. You have to go outside. If you don't go outside, you're wrong. It's an incorrect way to run the route. That is not an incorrect way to run the route. There are plays where it's called a must outside release. So a must outside release would be instead of taking the inside release right here, we would have to go outside, no matter what leverage the DB has, because this DB, like I said, is outside shade. So that play is usually when we have a fade and the slot receiver is running a 5-yard out. Because if we go outside, usually if this DB's playing the flats, he's going to let us go outside. And he has safety help, but that's a long throw for that safety. Or us going outside is going to take the corner out of there, and that opens up the 5-yard out. But this is clearly not that situation. So it doesn't have to be an outside release. We can get separation, and we can still get a chance to make a ball with an inside release. So we have outside shade press. What Williams does a great job of is attacking the outside shade press. Let's threaten his leverage. Let's make him think that I am going outside, because that's what will get him to just hesitate even in the slightest bit to the outside. He does not want to give up the outside route. He wants to force you inside because he has help. Now, the mistake that a lot of wide receivers will make, especially wide receivers who maybe aren't on the fastest side of things, not saying Mike Williams is fast. I really don't know what his 40 time is or anything, but obviously, he's probably pretty fast if he's playing in the NFL. If you take that inside release, you have to make sure that we stack or we get skinny into this DB's frame so the QB has space. Oftentimes, what receivers will do off the line is they'll not have a good pad level. They'll attack, and they'll stand straight up with their chest. And when you stand up, you're just going to be off balance. You're going to take a very wide angle, and you're going to drift inside. Anytime a DB is outside shade, he has safety help to the inside. So we have to make sure we stay tight. We stay in a low pad level position. We're hip to hip with him. So when I take this inside release, I give my quarterback a chance. He has a chance to make a play on the ball right now. He could put this ball outside, away from any kind of safety help, and at least I have a chance to go make a catch. That's a great job by Mike Williams. Let's play this thing again, full speed, one more time. Great job taking the inside release, not forcing the outside release and getting squeezed to the sideline and making a play on this ball. So coming in at number 3, we got this out route here from Jacoby Myers. So he makes this DB bite insanely by selling the drag on something we call a dive release. So when we go here, what is a dive release? So a dive release is pretty much exactly how it sounds. I like it against outside, not so much outside all the time, more so like head up press coverage. But a dive is where you pretty much dive to the inside, selling like you were running a drag, and then you come back to the outside, either running like a 10-yard out, a fade, 5-yard out. I've seen guys run a comeback off of this, anything outside breaking. So what he does here is he does such a great job of selling it. He's manned up with this DB on the outside. He just dives to the inside. It's usually a 2-step release. He steps with the right leg, breaks off of the left leg. But it is super important to get this DB to crash. We have to run with speed, and we can't change up my stride. So many wide receivers, what they'll do is on this dive release, they'll come off the ball and they take choppy steps. They're not actually running. That looks nothing like a drag. And especially when it's a bunch formation, what do we like to do a lot of? We like to have a lot of misdirection. We like to have guys go first, other guys go second, and then we drag somebody underneath because this guy's in off coverage. We have some space when it's a bunch formation to make something happen. So that's why it works so well. He does this dive release because that's what teams like to run a lot of. So when he dives to the inside, we get the DB to crash. He puts the brakes on, and he could accelerate back to the outside on the quick out route. So a dive release is a great way to get separation anytime you guys have to run a quick flat, a quick 10-yard out, 5-yard out, whatever it is, and you have head up press. It sells drag. Get the DB to commit by running hard, running in full speed, and that's what can get you open. Let's play this thing again, full speed one more time. Great job by Myers crossing his face and then getting that DB to jump inside. Okay, coming in at number 2. We have a shock release here from George Pickens. So what is a shock release? A shock release is something that you bigger wide receivers should use anytime that you're going up against a smaller DB or a DB who's just flat out smaller than you. So let's play at full speed. So he comes off the ball and just shocks this DB, puts him on his butt, and he's able to go run around. Doesn't get the ball thrown to him, but he's open, right? This is a great release you can use early in the game to set the tone with a DB. So if you're a bigger outside wide receiver, I don't recommend this if you're on the shorter side of things or if you're a smaller guy, just because, it's tough to do. It's really, honestly, if you're a slot and you're getting manned up with like a nickel safety, a linebacker, it's tough to do this kind of thing. But if you're a receiver and you're 6'2 plus, you got some weight to you, maybe get some explosion to you, I would love this against a freaking smaller corner who's 5'8", 5'9". Put him on his butt. Set the tone early. So you're pretty much like throwing a block with this shock release. He comes off here, he gets low, he's driving from his legs, driving up from his hips, and we're just shocking the DB. Get his hands off of you, and let's burst up to the inside. Only like this for taller or bigger guys, but a shock release is a great way to get separation on any route. We go up to him, we shock him, let's go. We can't waste time and just a hand fight with him. We have to get up into the route anytime that I use this. Let's play this thing again, full speed one more time. Great job by Pickens coming off the ball, shocking this DB, and then winning on that route over the middle. So coming in at number 1, we have a post corner route here. Some people are calling this a post out. I think it's a post corner just based on the break, but we have a post corner here from Amari Cooper. So let's play this thing full speed. So anytime that I have a double move route, it is super important that I am selling this thing with my hips, shoulders, and speed. So when he breaks to the post here, obviously we got off zone coverage, and when he breaks to this post, a double move route is anything like a out and up, a sluggo. I know most of you know this, a post corner, but it's pretty basic advice, but not a lot of people do it. You have to run the first route first. They call it a post corner for a reason because you actually have to run the post. So when you're running a post corner, do you take choppy steps? Like, do you break on the post and then you take choppy steps waiting for the QB to throw the ball to you? No, because usually on a post, he's throwing this thing on time. He's anticipating it. And when you break, you're accelerating to the ball. It's a race to the ball. So that's how you have to treat a post corner. As soon as you break off of this cut, we actually got to gain ground. We actually got to run. We got to have some speed because DBs are taught to look for a change of speed in a cut. If you're on a team that likes to run a lot of double moves, I guarantee you that DB is expecting that. He's expecting, okay, anytime that they break to the post and he starts to slow down, he's going back to the corner. They look for those little things. Smart DBs, smart DB coaches, D coordinators, they look for those little tendencies because that's what gives them an edge. Playing defense is so hard because they don't know what we're doing. But if we can be a salesman and we could actually run the same way, that will get this guy to crash. Now, number 2, the mistake that guys will make on a post corner is they'll break, they'll take their 3 steps, but right before they break on this, their left shoulder and their left hip, in this case, it's the other way on the other side, will start to turn before the foot gets down, giving the route away. If it is man coverage, off man, press man, and you're doing any kind of double move, a DB is supposed to be watching where? Your hips. So if you start to turn your shoulders and turn your hips before this gets down, that cut is going to be weak. There's not going to be any explosion because you quite frankly don't need to have an explosive cut because you're already turning out of the break, and it gives the route away. So we have to fully commit with hips, fully commit with shoulders, and my stride and speed. Notice how, when Amari Cooper broke to the post, he didn't snap his eyes to the QB. Because that's not the most important part, fellas. People overemphasize the eyes. A DB ain't supposed to be looking there anyways. In a perfect world, if I was coaching up Amari Cooper and I needed to find something to coach him up on this, I would say give your eyes to the QB. That's probably the only thing that I would maybe change, but it's not a necessity to get open. A necessity to get open is your speed, your stride, and your body language to get him to crash on any kind of double move. Let's play this thing again full speed. So coming in at number 1 is this post corner route here from Amari Cooper. Great job getting separation. All right, fellas, really want to thank you for watching. Really appreciate it. If you have any questions or comments, leave those in the comments section below. I'll see you guys next time.